Hello friends, welcome back to our channel You Next Officer. We are here to continue our series of discussion of UPSC CSE Mains Sociology Daily One Answer, right? So do subscribe our channel guys. Uh, so let's start our initiative. So today's question is today is a day 4 and here we are in the unit 1 and our question is sociology, it's not in, is sociology a common sense? So is sociology a common sense? This is our question. Give reason in support of your arguments, plus I will tell you against of this, against of it, right? Okay. So this is not in, this is sociology a common sense? So we have to talk about what is sociology and why it is common sense and why it is not a common sense. Okay, so shall we start? Okay, so first we'll read about what is common sense and why sociology is called as a common sense. So let's read the topic, definition of common sense, and then we'll understand. Okay, so common sense as a routine knowledge, what we have in our day to day life. Okay, so what is common sense? We got to know that is common sense. This is common sense, and common sense is a routine knowledge. What is routine knowledge? That we have our day to day knowledge. Routine knowledge is our day to day knowledge, right? What is this day to day knowledge? See, our grandmother is having some knowledge, our father is having some knowledge, our teachers are having some knowledge about what? About society, right? Sociology is what? Sociology is all about society. Sociology is what? This is sociology. Sociology is the study of society, right? And in the society, what we study? We study interactions. We study interactions among the people, society member. So what we study? We study interactions, right? In the society, we study interaction is of many type, right? For example, interaction of a daughter-in-law in her in-laws, with her in-laws, right? So this is also interaction. In the society, there is a norm that women, that is daughter-in-law, should practice parda system, right? So this is a commonsensical knowledge, right? Everyone has the similar kind of pattern we observe. So this is a common sense knowledge. For example, I'll give you one more example of common sense which is prevailing in the society, that this is a common sense, and girls like pink color. This is a commonsensical knowledge, right? But the society, what sociology do? Sociology rejects it. Why? Because sociology believes in the social survey, in the systematic study. While studying the society, sociology came to know that it is the society who society who governed or socialize the human behavior. Society, it is the society who governs and socialize the human behavior. See, this is all about the commonsensical knowledge, but sociology rejects it. So coming back to our answer. So this is, we are done with this. That is what is. See, Durkheim says common sense is a routine knowledge, right? So we have to start answering this. This is our intro part, right? Next, moving on to the body of the answer, we have to discuss about, we have to write about the positive, both the side. That is, yes, sociology is common sense, and sociology is common sense, and sociology is not common sense. Common sense and not common sense. We have to discuss both the parts, right? And at the end, we have to give the balanced kind of conclusion, right? So, okay, coming back to the question, that it is telling us to explain sociological applied commonsensical knowledge. So, sociology applies commonsensical knowledge. So, here we are talking about, yes, sociology is common sense. Yes, it is. We are proving in this paragraph, we are proving that yes, sociology is common sense. So, let's prove. So, coming back to our discussion or explanation part, right? Okay, here it is. So, what will be the first point? The first point is sociology, that is, sociology is common sense. Yes, right? We have to give the first point will be, it is a folk wisdom, right? Folk wisdom means folk wisdom. What is folk wisdom? Folk wisdom is like, it is a kind of a tradition, that traditions which are continuing through ages. It is a folk wisdom is what? Folk wisdom are the traditional values, traditional folk wisdom. The first point will be our folk wisdom. Folk wisdom, right? Folk wisdom is what? Folk wisdom is like our traditions, our beliefs, right? And our value systems, which are continuing through ages, right? So this is the folk wisdom is the first point. Okay, so we have to explain it, that in the common sense, for example, I am giving you one example, that is example, we have to link the example, it is very important, we have to link our example through what? Through a sociological perspective, right? So folk wisdom is close to sociology, agreed. See, what we considered as a society, we think that the tribal peoples are backward people, right? They don't have, they are illiterate, they don't have what we considered as a commonly in the society, that they are the backward, they are illiterate, they don't have um, what we say, they don't follow the norms, our norms, so they are backward, right? Okay, so how sociology use this commonsensical knowledge into in the subject is the, like, for example, Ghure, what our thinker Ghure, he called tribals as what? Backward Hindu, right? So backward Hindus. So this is C, Hindus, right? So these tribals are poor, illiterate, norm, they don't follow the norms, right? So we consider that commonsensical knowledge in our sociological perspective, and Ghure gave the example of backward Hindus, right? Called the tribal people as a backward Hindus. Okay, so this is our first point. Moving on to second part. So common sense used to make hypothesis is what? Hypothesis means it gives our kind of a it gives a kind of a statement based perception, based on which the sociologists do their research part, right? Based on what? Hypothesis. And that hypothesis, from where we get our hypothesis, will get our hypothesis through what? Through the society itself. For example, I am repeating this example, that is, girls like boys, blue is for boys, right? And pink will be with the, means pink will be liked by girls only, right? This is our commonsensical knowledge. And what sociology do? Sociologists try to prove it, whether it is correct or not. So how they have to prove it? They have to prove it through the social survey means social survey, taking interviews, right? So, interviews, questionnaire, preparing questionnaires, like that. Okay, moving on to the third point. Moving on to the third point, this common sense related information is used in the social phenomena. For example, we believe that there is a common sense that um, rich people rich people are arrogant. Arrogant, right? They don't respect money. They don't respect money. This is a common sensical knowledge, right? वो कहते हैं ना कि हम कि कैसे मतलब अरे उसको कुछ नहीं समझ आएगा, उसके पास तो बहुत पैसा है, उसको वैल्यू नहीं है पैसे की, वो उड़ाता है, राइट? वो अगर 5,000 की शर्ट लेगा तो वो उड़ा रहे पैसे, राइट? दिस इज अ कॉमन सेंसिकल नॉलेज, right? So sociologists use that common sensical knowledge to study this phenomena. Abhi we get to know that the rich, someone is rich and he or she used to spend something like more than 20% of their salary in, don't take the percentage, we'll take the example of if 1 lakh, they spend 1 lakh in their shoes, suppose. So what we common sensical knowledge will be, it would be like they are wasting money, right? But for them, for the sociologists, they used to understand the expense, the consumption pattern of the society, the rich class, how to study the consumption pattern. So this is a social phenomena. This is a social phenomena. So moving on to the next part, that will also study about the Anthony Giddens, what he talks about, right? We can also write his information in the conclusion itself. That's why I wrote here conclusion. We can also use his quote in the conclusion, that the rightly points out that Anthony Giddens rightly point out sociological knowledge itself become commonsensical. Means if we are used to such knowledge that it becomes a commonsensical knowledge, right? Then there is a diagram which we can draw in our answer copy. This is the diagram, and then now in this question we are proving that the sociology is not a common sense. Sociology is not a common sense. So how we have to prove it? Through the different point, right? So here it is, we are proving it. Okay, so how we have to prove it? The first point is our first point is use of conceptual scheme. See, sociologists always believe in study करेंगे वो. They are not using commonsensical knowledge. Commonsensical knowledge, they will not use it, right? They study, right? They build, sociologists, what they do, they build hypothesis, right? Hypothesis is a kind of a statement of a research, right? And they try to prove it, whether that statement, for example, a statement would be like girls, female should be fit for what kind of caregiving job. Females are best in giving caregiving job, right? Females are good in caregiving job. This is our commonsensical knowledge, right? And sociologists got that commonsensical knowledge through the social understanding, the social phenomena. Now what sociologists will do, sociologists try to explain it, try to prove that hypothesis, whether it is correct or not. So using that sociological conceptual using that conceptual, understanding that conceptual scheme, right, about the what is conceptual, conceptual scheme of what, about the society, about the society, and then they will prove whether it is true or not, whether it is true or not. Okay, so what sociologist will do, sociologist sociologist will do empirical test, right, empirical test. Well, with the help of empirical tests, sociologists prove that uh, their hypothesis, whether it is true or not. So, I am giving you another example is suicide. See, the society believes suicide is a psychological disorder, psychological disorder, right. Society believes this suicide is the psychological disorder. But what sociologists believe, sociologists believe sociologists believe it is because of the social anomy, it is because of the society pressure. It is not a, suicide is not a individual act, is not a individual act. So so suicide, see, I am giving you one example, I'm just dividing the page. So here sociologists believe suicide anomy is what kind of anomy, is a social anomy, is a social anomy, right. Society presses, because of the society, so society pressure, society pressure, society pressure, society pressure, individual, individual committing suicide, right. Okay, got it. Okay, next, but the how sociologists deal with it, how sociologists deal, sociologists treat suicide, take the suicide as a hypothesis, as suicide among women, no, not women, suicide among, suicide among youths are high, this is right, youth are high, right. This is our hypothesis. How sociologists have to prove, for example, we'll take the Durkheim was the first thinker or sociologist who proved the suicide is a social phenomena. It is because of the social pressure, it is because of the social anomy, not a society is not a, society is not individual act, right. So that thing we have to understand. Okay, next, at the end, how we have to end this topic. So let's move on to the another part. So here it is, after writing this conceptual scheme, empirical, now we have to end it with the things, that is common sense, common sense based on values, right. We have values, like our nani dadi is having such kind of value system, their beliefs, they are the common sensical knowledge, right. कि लड़कियों को तो रात में अकेले नहीं जाना चाहिए था, उनके कैरेक्टर पे प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है, ठीक है, ये एक कॉमन सेंसिकल नॉलेज है. बट हाउ सोशोलॉजिस्ट विद एड्रेस इट, right. Sociologists do why there is in the society the women were restricted, right. They has to face restrictions, so it is our sociological knowledge, right. So common sense is based on values, is based on value, lacks validity, verifiability, reliability. But sociologists, in this paragraph we have to compare both the things, right, and at the end we have to write the conclusion. Sociologist is based on the objectivity. So I am explaining you here this part. Sociologist, that is, yes. So this is before conclusion, right. So common sense is based is a value, So here I'm writing common sense. This is common sense, and this is we have to write about the sociology, right? Common sense is based on values, lacks validity, it lacks verifiability, common sense, right? Reliability, right? Reliability means we have to be a large section of the society, uh, or a majority of the people rely on it, rely on data. Yes, that data is everywhere same, right? This is called as a, with the number of the experiment, every time will get the same result. This is called as a reliability. Whereas sociology believed, sociologist, okay, sociologist is like, what is all about sociology, right? Sociology is what? Sociology tell us about based on objectivity, 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 right? Objectivity and scientific data, scientific data, right? It based on verifiability, verifiability, reliability, right? And objectivity. Yes, it is written here, right? So at the end we have to conclude, and our conclusion is like sociology uses commonsensical knowledge. Anthony will end with the Anthony Giddens, right? The sociology is a commonsensical knowledge. Sociological knowledge become commonsensical. So here it is. So I'm done with it, today's part. So let me know how you like it, what all improvement you want me to incorporate. So do subscribe our channel. Thank you guys. Thank you.